When someone passes, where do they go? Gone forever, or can they show? What if you could find someone between to bridge the gap of those?
I'm Michele Livingston, and I've been a spiritual medium for the last 30 years, appearing on Fox News, New York.
Hello, everybody. I'm Greg Jarrett. Welcome back to Breaking News. It's going to be a really interesting guest for the hour. Michele Livingston is a visionary counselor.
On stage with medium James Von Prague.
Did anybody smoke, Richard?
Yes.
I smell tremendous smoke even up here. Was that your father that smoked?
My father and my mom.
On ABC News.
Air, oxygen everywhere, you can't see it, but it's here. Same thing with the spirit realms. So even though it's in a beautiful invisible realm, I have the capacity to tap into it and actually see them. He says, thanks for the balloons. I have no idea what that means. God. Do you have your mother's ashes with you?
My brother and I had necklaces made with her ashes in them, and I just took it off the chain tonight and put it in my pocket because I was curious if it would come up, and it did.
From the east in Harrisburg, PA, to the west in Hollywood, CA, I'm the People's Medium.
Welcome back, Michele.
Hey, Tony. Hi. I'm back.
I'm so excited. I'm over here dancing.
I can dance now, too. That's the greatest part.
And I'm
off
glad.
The surgical boots, off the walker. I danced right in here. You saw me dancing.
I did. That's why I started dancing. You made me. It was contagious.
Uh-oh. Well, anyhow, it's I'm going to kick off this new season with a topic. Are you an empath? But I want to tell callers, I will take calls towards the end. If you've had a recent loss, my heart goes out to you. Give me a call. The number is up there, the call number. And also, if you're an empath, maybe you want to go and put something in the chat room. The chat room is ubntvradio.com if you're a new listener. And if you are a listener from last season, I'm just refreshing your memory.
Right.
So I don't see your comments on my Facebook, The People's Medium, till after the show. But Tony monitors the call center, and he's a wonderful co-host, and he also watches the chat room. So we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I've had a good hiatus here, Tony.
Good. Real quick, what did you do just besides healing?
Well, I did some writing. My new book is on pets and animals.
Oh, I love it.
I ask people to submit stories on pets as healers, as teachers, as messengers, as companions and friends, and even soulmates. Well, I not only got cats and dogs.
Oh, wow.
I have stories on farm animals, horses, ducks, a gecko, and they're really inspirational and moving. Goats. Well, you know about goats. You know, on weekends, sometimes you go feed the goats.
I do.
But they're really inspirational and heartwarming stories. And it can be about your pets, your fur babies on Earth, and how you are interacting with them. Or they can be in the heavenly realms. They could have crossed the rainbow bridge, and you have a message from them, or a sign, or a dream of them. And the stories are phenomenal. I'm probably halfway through. Just want to tell people, if you would like to submit a story, you can do it via my email, which is Michele@MichelleLivingston.com, or on the friend page, or on Facebook fan page. So looking forward to that.
Great.
But this topic tonight is about empaths, and a lot of people are empathic. They don't realize it. They're overly sensitive. So I wanted to talk about how you feel as an empath, because I'm an empath. And as I started to do readings over these many years, this would come up during a client's reading, that they imbibe energy. And they always ask me, how do I protect myself? So I will, at the end of this, towards the end, tell you different ways to protect. It's very important in today's world. The veil is thinning, first of all. between our third dimensional world and the fourth dimension, which is the heavenly realms. And we feel energy. I think everyone feels energy. And we also feel negative energy. So I want to go over some of the ways that empathic people deal. They are, first of all, they're very highly intuitive. Intuition means inner knowing. And it could be as simple as you're thinking of someone and a while later the phone rings and it's that person. Or you're driving home from work and you get that feeling, I'm not going to take the normal route. I'm going to go the back route. You find out there's been a major accident where you would have been. We all have it, and sometimes we think, that's my imagination. But intuition is very valuable for empathic people because they derive all their information by how they feel about situations and about other people. And I want to tell you, if you feel that you're an empath, your feelings won't lead you astray. If you get a gut feeling about something and it feels good, it's time to go for it. If you have a little trepidation, I don't know about that person, I don't know about that situation, hold back a little bit and wait. Try not to be too impulsive. Discernment also enters in with an empath. Discernment, thank heavens, is the ability to know who's for your highest good and who's not. So you need to ask for discernment if you feel that you are an empathic individual. They really have highly tuned senses. So because of that, they can go into sensory overload. And you might say, well, what in the world sensory overload? Empathic people, for example, Tony, would have a hard time in living in New York City. Right. Lots of crowds, lots of noise, loud noises. They get overly stimulated by extrasensory things. So peace and calm is really most important for an empathic type personality.
That would
so
be
if
me.
Are you an empath?
I am an empath, and I honestly have to get away from the city or hide in my apartment or something to be away from crowds. Because if I'm around it too long, I just completely get exhausted.
Exactly. So what you're doing is you're absolutely taking in all the energy that surrounds you. And I know you're from a farm. I don't know if a lot of people know that. And so it's a peaceful community.
Yes.
In Kansas.
Yeah.
And I can imagine how much you like nature and how much you like animals. And that's the other thing. Empathic people love nature.
Love it.
They love to get out. They love animals. They love to walk on trails and things like that. So that's one of the ways you can protect, which I'll get into in a little while. But too much stimulus will really cause mood swings. Empathic people wake up in the morning, they feel pretty good. They go about their day, and if they are at work, maybe someone's ill, someone is angry, someone's going through a divorce. And empathic people are like sponges. They're, whether they know it or not, imbibing other people's dramas and other people's energy. So as I said, protection is very, very important. You need to be aware of how you feel, because you may not be bipolar. You may be an empath that has mood swings. So that's for you to go inward and to meditate upon and to see how you really feel. And like Tony said, he can't be in large crowds. I'm also empathic, so I can only take these kind of things in very small doses. If I go to a party, it has to be with a small group of people, really. And I don't stay the whole time. I end up leaving before the party's over. There's a lot of things empaths do, and you might even be thinking or laughing, that sounds like me. But anyhow, they're not only highly sensitive, but they have big hearts. Empathic people love other people, and they do have hearts of gold. So if someone's on the street begging for money, they usually give them money. They love to save cats and dogs and rescue animals because that's where their heart lies. Empathic people are very altruistic, and they're very kind. And sometimes that kindness is taken for granted. So protect. Anyhow, their feelings also get hurt. We're more sensitive than most people. So if you think someone is saying something about you in a negative way, you'll take it to heart. And we tend to hold on to things. And that's why clearing out energy is very, very important for empathic people, because they really do imbibe things and they tend to hold on to emotional pain. That's for sure. Empathic people can actually absorb, as we were saying, other people's emotions. So not only are there mood swings, sometimes you feel so overwhelmed, you don't know what to do. And it's difficult to focus. I'm getting older, so I know that that's a given, that I'll be in one room and go into that room looking for something and forget what I'm looking for. So I have to go back to the room I started in and figure out what was I in the other room for. But focus is important for empaths. They're easily distracted, no matter what age you are. I mean, you could even be in high school and have empathic feelings and feel overloaded, overwhelmed, and just like you want to retreat. That's the other thing, to go inward and retreat. So they end up feeling drained and tired and a little bit frustrated. Some empathic people have difficulty in sleeping. So I would advise you, if you have sleepless nights, to get a CD recording of ocean music. Now you're on the Pacific, so it's easier for you to get to the ocean, right, Tony?
Right, very, very easy.
Yeah. And it's such a rhythmic sound when the tide comes in and goes out. It's very lilting. So I know a lot of people that have these feelings and listen to the CD of ocean water. It just lulls them to sleep. It's like a lullaby. So after you know you've been on an emotional roller coaster and that you find out that you are a true empath, you tend to become a little introverted. And that is for your own self-protection too. They tend to be creative, empathic people. Not necessarily, but a lot of them will want to work on their own. So they could be writers, they could be composers, painters, anything that you do when you are on your own creatively, or even journal would be a good thing for an empath to do. You recharge, you plug the battery in, and you start to feel a lot better. That's for sure. Music concerts are another one that I had to shy away from, especially loud rock and insane vibrations, and also big groups of people. So I would say that empathic people would like soft music. Stringed music is very healing for the soul. So classical guitar, listening to that, the lute, the harp, the piano, any instrument with chords is very soothing for a sensitive person. So I would advise that as well. And I hope a lot of you out there are saying, I'm awakened. I've always gone by my feelings. Yeah, I do feel drained. I do have trouble sleeping. I do get overloaded. I do feel overwhelmed, and I have difficulty in focusing. And this is not across the board. All of these symptoms are not necessarily an empath, but I would say probably 85% of them are. So being alone is most important. They prefer one-on-one contact with somebody. Amen. Or if they have to go out, a small group of people. Does that sound like you, Tony?
Honestly, I'm better at one-on-ones. As soon as it gets into be a group, I completely go to the background. Unless I'm the center of attention. I know that sounds weird, but if I'm working, I'm a complete different person.
When you're working.
Yeah.
So, well, you're adept at it, and you're good at it, and you're focused with it. Right. And so what we love to do, that kind of pulls us out. And I'm glad you said that, because focus has to do with reading a good book, if you would want to do that. As I said, writing, journaling, composing, anything where you could focus your mind.
Right.
So in your type of work, which is technical but very creative, Tony, you have to focus. You have to be in that channel. And when you're in that channel, so to speak, then you're automatically protected almost from bombardment of energy. right?
Oh yeah, actually, it sometimes technology or my work actually keeps me. It does keep me protected because I feel more confident when I do it. But when I'm out in an environment,
Exactly.
outside, yeah, it's different.
And the more you do something, the better you are at it.
Yes.
So I know you're very good. But anyhow, they need time alone. And I want to say this is one of the most important things that you can do as an empath. It's hard to regroup, and most of us have a lot of responsibilities emotionally. We have family. We want to keep up with friends every now and then. And we have things that are pressing on us where we have to be in public. It's, we're not hermits. We're not in the Himalayan mountains. We're not living in a cave.
Right.
Although a cabin in the woods with a lot of nature is really drawing me lately. So maybe that's going to be one of my new projects, is to look for a cabin as a getaway.
That sounds nice to me.
Doesn't that sound good?
Oh yeah.
in northern PA somewhere. But yeah, and because of being highly creative, there are a lot of ideas that come in our minds at one time. Empathic people think many thoughts at once. This is why it's difficult to focus, because ideas are coming in. They're trying to digest the ideas. They're trying to put them in some category. So even mentally, it's quite the overload. It really is. And there's one other thing that's very interesting, is that sometimes empathic people do not have one-on-one or intimate relationships for a while. They can go for between several months to even a couple years or longer without an intimate relationship or without a partner. And the reason that is too much togetherness is too much for them. And there's also kind of a fear that they have of being engulfed by another person's energy. My husband and I work together almost 24/7. So he is not empathic. He's very intelligent, and he's more of the healer. He has the healing energy. And we have separate offices in this home. We have separate rooms where we can go to meditate and to relax. And that's fortunate for us. But even if you just need to get out, even at work on your lunch hour, take a little walk, get some fresh air, get some sun on your skin. Sun produces vitamin K and D, and it does help with an empath. It raises the mood. It helps you feel more positive and helps you ward off some of the negativity. We have something in the East, or not necessarily in the East, but throughout the country where it snows. And it's worse from November through March. And it's called seasonal affective disorder. And I have touches of that where I get down in the gray weather and the cold weather and the dreary weather. You're lucky, Tony, in LA, where you told me it was what was it? 79?
79 degrees.
Oh boy. You're lucky. I'll have to fly out there sometime and imbibe some of that warmth.
Yes.
But you'll find, empaths, that November through March, your moods will go down a little bit. That can produce a depression. It can even produce panic attacks in a way. So you might think you're losing it, but just hold on, everybody, hold on. And it's okay to go without a partner for a while, because in that interim, which I've had myself, you can do a lot of soul searching. And you can go within yourself and kind of find yourself and find your purpose, why you're here on this earth plane. Empathic people need to balance, and that is a key word. Balancing mind with clear thinking and focusing, meditation, balancing the body with good nutrition. And it's difficult when you're on the run, but protein and different food groups are really good to imbibe. And also B100 complex. B100 is a stress vitamin for empathic people. A lot of empaths, they do not necessarily have anemia, but they have sometimes a blood imbalance between the red and white blood cells. And that's because they're drained constantly and they're under stress a lot. So B vitamins are washed out of the body when you're under stress, and they're hard to replace through food groups, unless you eat tons and tons of spinach, which most people don't do. There's something called stress B100 complex. I'm not advocating certain pharmaceutical companies, but Twin Lab is a company that produces something called stress B100 complex. It also has 1,000 units of vitamin C. And vitamin C is an immune booster. So you'll find if you're empathic, if you take a couple tablets, I'm not a medical intuitive, but it helps me, a vitamin B100 complex with vitamin C, within a week, you're going to feel better. And I usually take mine in the morning around 10 o'clock and then mid-afternoon around 3. Just beware, if you take B vitamins too close to bedtime, you won't sleep, because they do give you energy. Yay! Everybody needs energy.
Amen.
So that's a tip for you. But if someone around you, whether you're at work or in the family, there's a lot of family dissension. And then, I coach people that deal with this kind of thing, dysfunctional families. But people can be very needy, and they can be angry, as we know, and they can be negative. So we call these types of people energetic or spiritual vampires. Have you heard of that term, Tony?
Yeah, I have. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they mean to be, but they walk away feeling much better. And we, as empathic people, are like, we're like totally drained. So as I said, we're imbibing their energy. Energetic vampires, or energy vampires, they're also called spiritual vampires, can be also narcissistic. A narcissist is someone who it's all about them and the whole world revolves around them. And therefore they don't have any empathy for other people. They do not have any sympathy for other people. Their world is sort of locked into place.
Wow.
So I don't know if you've known any. I'm not prying, Tony, but I think we've all known some narcissism.
Yeah. I mean, being 48 years old, I've met a few in my life.
Oh, honey, you're a baby.
Oh, I love Michele.
With age comes wisdom.
Amen.
Where do your mind? It's taken me a long time to get this together, to get this information together, but also to guard, as I said, guard myself, which is so crucial. But you kind of get the vibe from a spiritual vampire. It doesn't necessarily have to be a narcissist, but they can really hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. Because you're overly sensitive. They can make you feel a little unworthy, or the hurt can last a long time. And this is something that we just have to get over and release. So I always say it's important to learn from the past and release it and not cling to it. To live in the now and to plan for the future. It's important to do that. A lot of people, or some people do, that I counsel, cling to the past. They tend to browbeat themselves, and it's the shoulda, coulda, woulda. If I would have done that, I should have done it. And so there is a putting oneself down kind of mode. Life isn't easy. We've all had setbacks, and some of us, honestly, as early as early childhood, have had setbacks. This doesn't necessarily produce an empath. An empath really is born. If you notice, I taught art for 10 years in an inner city environment in Harrisburg. And I watched the children, and I noticed that some were very empathic. They were sensitive, they were creative, they were outgoing, but yet they wanted in a way to stay to themselves. And there were other kids that were really boisterous, and they wouldn't prey on the empathic children, but today we call it bullying in schools. And boy, I'll tell you, of all the people in this world, bullying an empath does some damage because you're taking things so personally. That's for sure. So anyhow, they can turn and become not just introverted, but some of us will have fatigue. It can be chronic fatigue symptoms where your legs hurt. You have difficulty in getting up in the morning. Along with mood swings, you just feel overall drained, overall tired. They can also, as I said, have some form of depression, experience panic because they feel totally overwhelmed without being able to compartmentalize thoughts, not being able to focus. Some empaths turn to drugs and alcohol to numb some of the intrusive negative bombardment that's coming in around them. Stress eating is also something that empathic people do. It's to kind of fill us up, to kind of ward off intrusion. And I will say it is intrusion. It's invisible, but as my new introduction said, so's the air. You wouldn't live long without oxygen. The spirit realms, it's a beautiful invisible world, but also energy. Energy is very strong, and I advocate guarding thoughts, especially if you're an empath, and thinking. It doesn't even mean positive thoughts, but guarding them and being aware of your thinking processes. I am now going to have a great day. I'm going to protect myself this day. There are different ways to do that. And I think as an empath, you've learned, and you probably haven't been taught it. Most of us have walked and fallen down and said, what the heck's wrong with me? Pick ourselves back up, try to adjust, and it keeps happening. And then the light bulb goes off. We have the aha moment that something has to be done here. It may not be a psychologist. We have to help ourselves. And so it's very important to help ourselves. And again, as I said, when you do something creative, you yourself said, when you are doing your technical work, but you're somewhat creative, aren't you, Tony, with different ideas?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very.
Yeah, and you have a lot of different belief systems and exciting things. So that keeps you going. But journaling, empathic people sometimes even have colon problems because they tend to pull and keep pulling energy in. So the journal, as we write down our thoughts, becomes a catalyst, and the journal is our friend. Empathic people do not want to unload on other people, so they're very private. They don't want to tell you their deepest emotions and their deepest thoughts. So again, the notebook becomes the friend and the catalyst. It's very important. Get your notebook, put the date at the top. If you're having mood swings, what set you off? Have you been at work and had something tick you off where you've imbibed it? Or have you had a good day? Have you had a sunny walk in nature and looked at the birds and felt the beautiful warm breeze on your skin and imbibed the potpourri of the fragrances of flowers, and that will alleviate the mood? Come back and write about it. You'll find that there's a pattern that emerges with empathic people. And as I said, in the winter, it gets a little bit worse. That's for sure. Playing soft music, painting, praying, meditating. You might say, well, what in the world is the difference between praying and meditating? Meditating is going within. So if you can think of an object like a flower, a rose, close your eyes and take maybe 8 deep breaths. Deep breathing also calms an empath. Empathic people tend to be shallow breathers. So out there, you're probably saying, yeah, that's true. I don't take enough deep breaths. So taking a deep breath not only puts oxygen into the lungs, but it also oxygenates the cells of the body. And you you start to feel good. You start to get on a high with deep breathing and with meditation, which is doing a lot of soul searching as well. So prayer would be thoughts that where you're reaching out. You could be reaching out to a higher power, whatever you perceive that higher power to be, the universe, your spirit guides, your angels. I personally believe in a higher power, and that's where my prayers go. And they seem to be answered, which is wonderful. I also want to say with aromatherapy, all these different things are fantastic for empathic people. Feeling, which would be sun in the skin, listening to soft music, speaking positive affirmations are very good. And also the olfactory. The olfactory is the ability to discern different fragrances. So the essential oils that you would use, lavender is a very calming oil. You can also put this in the bath water. Soaking baths are important. Frankincense oil wards off negativity. And also sandalwood is very good. Get the kind, I use doTERRA essential oils, get the kind that mixes with water. I have a pod in my office where I put essential oils in the water and diffuse it, even before I do readings. And it clears the room, cleans out the negativity, and it really helps me to get balanced before I do a reading. So these things, it's a matter of prioritizing. It really is a matter of taking and making time for yourself. As I said, walks are important. Go hug a tree. Pine trees have slightly more of a feminine energy. Any trees with flowers, dogwood, weeping cherry, pine with the needles, although they do not have a sex, they have an energy about them. So when you're around flowering trees or when you're around pine trees, the fragrance is not only great, but go hug the trunk because the roots go deep into Mother Earth and you'll feel more balanced that way. As I said, water is so important. It doesn't necessarily have to be ocean water. A lot of people like to breathe salt air at the ocean and walk along the ocean, but it could be a lake, a stream, anywhere where you're getting the energy of water. We have 4 main elements. We have the earth and we have the air, fire and water. Of those 4 elements, water is the most healing and it's the most fluid and it's also a feminine element. So you feel stressed, take a vacation. I want to throw this into the people that are trying to get pregnant too, off the top. More conceptions happen at the water. Now, this doesn't go to you, Tony.
Oh, okay. I'm looking around.
I had some clients this past weekend, God bless them. I had a husband and wife, and they're trying. And I said, take a vacation. I said, you should go to Key West. And they looked dumbfounded. They said, that's where we're headed. I said, good for you.
Maybe on the way.
Well, anyhow, mountains, different terrain. Now, in California, you have the redwoods in Northern California and the Pacific. So what a combination that would be. Someday I'm going to make a trip to Northern California. Have you ever been up there, Tony?
When I was a kid, we went to the redwoods, and then about 6 months ago, we went to see the big sequoias up in the Sequoia National Park. It was beautiful.
And are they as large as the redwoods?
I don't think the sequoias are larger than the redwoods, but they're still huge. Like you can walk through them; they're so big. But but being around them, the energy is amazing. I mean,
and I bet you felt calm and peaceful after that.
Yes.
Walk.
Yes.
So, yeah. And you can restore yourself through nature and Mother Earth, which will bring you great peace. And I really do advocate it. So let's get into, because time's flying here, how do I protect myself? This is huge. In the morning, get up, of course, get awake, go to the mirror. And it's in my book, which is shown there. Messages from Beyond is a spiritual guidebook. And it's over 100 pages of how to protect, how to clear out negative energy from the home environment, how to attract abundance, which is going to be next week's topic. But what you say is, in my book, there is a protective affirmation. And I'll tell you, does this ever work? You say, "Dear Creator, please protect me this day. Protect me physically, emotionally, mentally, protect my auric field and even my soul. Let me only attract people today into my space for my highest good and for theirs. Let me only attract opportunities and situations into my space for my highest good." You can visualize a dome of glass. You've seen the old clocks with the dome of glass over them. That's what I do. You can visualize an egg of pure white light. Some people visualize golden light, but pure white light is the purest for protection. And you can also visualize just a cloak over yourself of pure white light. It does really help you, so that when people come at you unknowingly with all their dramas, and whether they're playing the victim or the narcissist, whatever's going on, it deflects. It comes at you, but you're not imbibing it. You're not taking it in. You're not feeling drained from it. It comes at you and it goes back and deflects out. So it's really important to say positive affirmations. Nature, as I said, is the best healer. And also being alone is crucial, as I've said. So when you're alone, this is interesting. I have a room that's a meditation room where I have certain things like a little tabletop fountain and essential oils and everything. And I go there. When I'm there, when you're alone, you automatically release other people's stuff from your auric field. As soon as you enter a room with lots of people, it's going to start again, but just be aware of it. But when you're alone in a quiet situation, then it dissipates. It dissipates almost immediately. This is why empathic people like to be alone a lot. We said essential oils. Also, please monitor what you watch. Don't watch horror movies. Paranormal movies. I don't deal with paranormal. I deal with the higher realm and love and light, of the higher creator. Paranormal spirits are earthbound. They are discarnates and they can scare you. So there's a lot of paranormal movies. I don't watch news. I'm up with politics, but there's an old saying, no news is good news. And empathic people that watch news that's very negative tend to be pulled down. It's okay to watch news, but just regroup and restore your energy. Another thing is gems. I'm just going to hold these up quickly. Amethyst, beautiful amethyst, is a healing stone. Let's see if I can get it up there. There we go. Amethyst is a healing stone. You can wear it as a pendant. You can carry it. Rose quartz is pale pink, and this is heart-shaped. I love this one. And it's the color of unconditional love. A crystal, just a plain crystal, can pull out negativity from the auric field. But also there are other ones. And I'm quickly going to go through them because I don't know if there's anybody in the chat room, Tony.
Oh, yeah, there's people talking about being empath, so.
Yeah, okay, well, I want to get on then. This is a tourmaline, and it's a tourmaline that is a protective tourmaline. Tourmaline has striations in it when it's not polished like this. But I wear this a lot because, believe it or not, this kind of tourmaline, you can carry it, you can wear it, it will ward off negativity, that's for sure. Fire agate's really good, and jetstone, it's called, it is also good. Soaking baths, can't advocate them enough. Put Epsom salts and baking soda into the water. The Epsom salts will clear away negativity, but also relax your joints and muscles. The baking soda is alkaline and it draws out negativity from your auric field. So there's nothing like a good warm soaking bath. It's very healing for you. So remember to still your mind, do your deep breathing, visualize something beautiful, focus on something that you love. One thing, not a whole scene. Empathic people cannot do whole walks through nature in their minds. They have to focus on one item. The other thing is, and it sounds a little bit strange, but detachment. Detachment. Sometimes we need to step away from people, whether they're acquaintances, whether they are friends. We feel drained after we're with them and all the drama that occurs in their lives, and it's okay to step away. You have permission to detach yourself for your own well-being, because this can be an energy tunnel between you and the person. Again, acquaintance, coworker, friend. It can become an energetic tunnel where when you're with them, you're still starting to feel the same thing, because people don't basically change. And you know people, and you've been around people, Tony, that probably ask them how they are. Just saying. And it's always one dramatic thing after another after another. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sometimes even in my own family.
Well, sometimes it's in a lot of families.
Yes.
There's a lot of drama. And so you go home, and then you have to come back and kind of recoup. You love your family, you want to give to people, but you also need to take care of yourself.
Yep.
So remove the negative feelings. Let you see your own truth. You got to see your own truth, and keep your heart open. Don't become tainted just because you're an empath and you felt hurt or abused. So what's going on in the chat room, Tony? Who's empathic? Who's saying anything in there? I'm just curious.
Yeah, let me go through here a little bit. Minnie said, thank you for being back. Thank you for touching on this topic. It says, Sandy says, hello, what can you do to heal your energy? Whoops, where'd it go? From clients, meaning if you're if you're an empath as a psychic, how do you heal yourself from clients?
Thank you, Miss Sandy. All right. I developed something called the golden screw technique. And there are portals which help us to channel, to help us become a good medium. There's one at the top of the head, which is the crown chakra. There's one here at the third eye. There's one at the mouth, which we communicate with Sandy. There's one at the heart chakra. There's one in the abdomen or the solar plexus, one at the base of the spine, and there's one at the palms of our hands and the soles of our feet. Now, these are portals that open up. So before I read for a client, I visualize golden screws in all of these places. I unscrew them and I let light pour in. And when I let light pour in, I can feel my soul going up out of my body slightly as the loved ones come down from their higher frequency to say hello. And then when the reading's done, I take a few deep breaths, and believe it or not, I start to put the golden screws back in place. So I have protected and I have gone within myself. And that's also in one of my books. Messages from Beyond, how to protect, not necessarily as a medium, but how to protect in general. So the golden screw technique is fantastic. Sandy, try it, because literally reading for clients, I love people and I love to help them with loss and bring them together with their loved ones in heaven. But when we've had loss, we're devastated. We're depressed. We're thrown off kilter. And when you are doing a reading for someone like that, I actually enter their energy field. And sometimes I can actually even enter into their being, which sounds a little strange because I'm a trance channel. So if somebody is on medication, about a third of the way into the reading, I'll say, are you on medication? Because I can start to feel dizzy. And they'll say, yeah, I'm on Xanax. Well, okay. I had one client come from a party, and I didn't know it, and she drank too much. And I did a reading for her face to face, and I was literally ill for the next 2 days. I was nauseous. And so, as an empathic reader, you got a double whammy. You have a medium trying to join together the different dimensions and help people, but you also have someone that is entering the other person's field. So, Sandy, bless you. I hope that helps you. Try the golden screw technique. Oh Lord, this is one for the books tonight, Tony.
I know it.
But I hope people are being helped.
Oh,
I really
tons.
do.
I can tell. Tons of people in the chat room are saying thank you. I know how to protect myself. I thought I was an empath. This pretty much explains me to a T. And then one of them, this is Gina Marie, says, "Hello, I'm an empath. Thank you for talking about this. I needed some guidance. She needed guidance. I'm triggered by my family members, events, news. I want to be able to move forward in life without feeling the past disappointment." So, yeah, there's a lot of people that have been affected.
And the thing is, a lot of people don't know that they're actually empathic.
Right.
I know there's been books written, and I might just keep that in the back burner and write a book on empathic people and how to deal with it. So, any callers, Tony?
We have tons of callers. So whenever you're ready.
If you are an empath, call me. Let me know how you have dealt with it, how you feel, or if you've had a really recent loss tonight of a spouse or a friend or even a child. That I do a lot of readings for parents that have lost children. So we can take do we have time?
Oh, yeah.
For a call?
We're going to make sure we have some time. So, but I do have one. She's in the chat room. She's also on hold. Her name is Janice, and she has a question about, wanted to see if she can get a message from her son. So, so let's go ahead and take this call. So I think it's Janice. You there?
Hello.
Hello, Janice. How are you, my dear?
Can you hear us, Janice?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear us?
Let me make sure she's...
You need to turn your volume down. We say this all the time on your phone or computer, whatever you're on.
Can you hear us, Janice? Hello, hello.
Well, let me just say about her son.
This is Janice, but I can't hear anything.
That's okay, darling. I'll talk to you. You don't even have to respond. Your son is with you a lot at night, Janice. I feel him. I see him. He comes around you at night. So you're going to feel something around your cheek area. You're going to feel something, someone sitting in the bed. If you have a mirror near the bed or in the hallway, mirrors are portals for spirits to come in. I'm having a great deal of him wanting to reach out to you, sweetheart. You were a very good mother, so never doubt that you were not a good mother because you always gave your son what he needed. And I feel that he wasn't in a whole lot of pain at the end. I feel his soul exited pretty quickly. He was met by an older gentleman and an older lady figure, which are probably grandparents or great-grandparents. They welcomed him with open arms. And I have to say your son was sensitive as well. This is a topic tonight of empaths. And I have to say he was slightly empathic. So he might have had some mood swings and so on and so forth, Janice. You don't really have to answer me back. I'm just telling you what I'm getting. If you want to confirm, my fan page is Michele Livingston, the People's Medium. And you can go on there and I will answer all the questions if there's any on there after the show tonight. I'll go down through them all. Some people do not want to go to UBN chat room. They want to stay on my fan page, and that's fine because it's being viewed both places. You need to take care of yourself, Janice. You have a big heart. I don't know if you're quite empathic or not, but you sometimes put your feelings on the back burner. You need to watch respiratory complications. And again, I'm not a medical intuitive, but mold or smoke-filled rooms. Hopefully you're not smoking, but you need clean, fresh air to protect the respiratory, Janice. So that's what I have to say. My heart goes out to you, my dear. There's nothing like the loss of a child. It's nothing you did. Your son's timeline was up. When our timeline is up, the angels cannot intervene. But hopefully we'll get to actually talk someday. So do you have another call, Tony?
Yeah, let's try another one. Let's see, make sure it's we called, make sure it's not our system, but we checked earlier. So let's see here. Let's go. Julie wants a mediumship reading. Is that okay? You want to take that one?
Yes, I hope she can hear me.
Me
Sometimes
too.
the center's down.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and take this one. Julie, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect.
You
So
can
you're
hear us,
on-
dear?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Oh, happy day.
Okay, great.
Julie. What's
Am
the
I on
most...
now?
Yeah, you're live with Michele.
Yes, you're live with me.
Oh, great. Hi.
Hi, darling.
I've heard great things about you.
Well, good. What is the most recent loss that you've had, Julie?
Oh, gosh, that would have been probably an ex-boyfriend of mine that passed on a couple years ago.
All right. Would you want to hear from your ex-boyfriend, or do you have somebody else in mind that's in heaven?
I don't care. Whoever comes through, whoever wants to speak to me, I'm good. It doesn't, I mean, whatever messages you have for me, I'm good. Whatever you get. I have a lot of people that have crossed over, so whoever wants to come in, I'm good.
I can imagine. Is your maternal grandmother passed, Julie?
Yeah.
She is here for you.
Okay.
I'm getting a fairly nurturing lady. I'm not getting a fancy energy about her. I'm getting a little more homespun with her. And I want to say something. She watches over you. I tell people you don't have to know them. And ironically, you don't have to like them. They see and know. They see and know you. Your grandmother has observed you, Julie, and you've come a long way in your spiritual development in the last 5 years. And I want you to think back 5 years. I want you to think back 5 years ago.
No, I know. That's when, no, that's right. That's right on. That's right on the money.
Right. Because the awakening has to do with knowing who you are and knowing your soul mission. A lot of us are very confused. Some of us are very confused. Why am I on the earth plane? You've done a lot of good work for yourself. You have shifted. Like I said, your grandmother sang within the last 5 years. You're on the right track, Julie.
What about about the boys? Do you have any advice about that, or my business, or anything like that?
Well, I was just going to talk about your business quickly. There is going to be shifting. There's going to be shifting in the workplace. You're somewhat creative, and within 12 months to 18 months, possibly to the 2-year mark, you'll find that there's some type of expansion, something different with the business, but it will be fine. You are a leader, my dear, and not a follower. So you need to hear this. And stepping into your own light is very important, Julie. And you've learned how to do that, and you've done it on your own. So congratulations, Julie.
I have done it on my own. I've done everything on my own. So that's really true.
And I want to
about boys. Anything boys?
Yes. I want to say to you, congratulations, Julie. You've come a long way, dear. So I hope that helps you. Just know your maternal grandmother loves you so. Okay?
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, honey.
Thank you, Julie. That's great. Well, I know we're running out of time, but I'd love to have one more call if you're up for it.
Sure.
Perfect.
Sure.
Because I'm always interested in dreams, and this caller, let me see if I can find, had a dream last night about, it says, Deborah, I had a dream last night about my father and wants to know what it meant. So let's go ahead.
Okay.
And,
can she give more clarification as to what happened in the dream?
So Deborah, you there?
Hello.
Hi,
Deborah.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic,
How are you
Deborah.
doing?
How are you, my dear?
I'm doing great, thank you.
What was
So
your
I
dream?
had a dream about my dad last night. We were kids, and he just kept saying he misses me laughing and playing.
Okay.
He misses laughing with me and playing with me.
Okay.
So.
That's great. I'm glad you clarified it.
And I don't dream very often, and I never dream of people. And I just woke up, and I just had a different feeling.
Right. And your dad's in heaven, correct?
Yes.
All right. So let me tell you what happened here, Deborah.
Okay.
And this is for everybody listening or watching, and I hope you are watching. When you dream of a loved one, your soul is up out of your body, and you're in a higher, faster frequency where they reside. They usually do not come down into your bedroom. So your soul was astral projecting. You met up with your daddy, Deborah, and he wants to see you bring out your inner child, the little Debbie within you. As we become adults, sometimes we squelch the inner child. So I want to explain what this means. Your dad wants to see you not only laughing and being happy, but he wants the little Debbie to come out. So the little Debbie is filled with joy. And I want to say, think about childhood, how things were exciting. You loved life. You loved other people. You loved animals. I'm sure of that. And you love to have a good time. So by being, by having the inner child come out, you're reconnecting not only with childhood, but with the love of the universe, with the joy, the pure joy of the universe, Deborah. And your dad's saying, in essence,
like
honey,
I'm losing that.
Pardon?
I feel like I'm losing that fun, happy part.
That's right.
Of me.
I know. So your dad wants you to get back to that any way you can. So this is what you do, darling. You take a sheet of paper and you make a list of things that you love to do, Deborah, that you love to do. And you do more of the things that you love to do. It will help to bring out your inner child. Go to a comedy movie. Play with your fur babies if you have animals. Play with them. Visit a daycare center where the formative years are, 2 to 5. Children love life.
And I worked in a daycare.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Because I heard
I did before.
I heard your dad say daycare. That's why I said if you work in a daycare. Thank you. That children should help to bring out your inner child, Deborah. The children. If you've watched them, they're filled with joy, aren't they? They're happy.
Yes. Yes.
And
I love making them happy and laugh.
That's right. And that's what Daddy's saying to you. Come on, Deb. Don't worry, be happy. So that's the interpretation of the dream. And I'm so glad you got to dream of your dad.
I'm so glad I got to speak with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great evening or
and
day,
I'm
wherever
you're
you're
doing better.
I'm happy for you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Much love to you. Thank you.
That was a good one. I loved it.
I love dreams because, we'll do a show on dreams. Some dreams are cleansing dreams of the subconscious, and other dreams were actually meeting up with loved ones.
Yeah, I used to, when I was a kid, have more of a, like she did, have dreams of loved ones, but I haven't had a dream in a long time of a loved one. So.
Well, Tony, maybe you just don't remember.
Yeah,
because when the soul goes out and re-enters the body, we tend to block things.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm sure you've had dreams and you just don't, of loved ones, but you don't remember.
Probably. Well, that was I love that show. That was a great show. Thank you for bringing that topic up, because me being an empath and many others have really benefited from what you said today. So
thank you so much. Next week is Valentine's Day, Wednesday. And the topic is going to be how to attract love and abundance and a companion and all those good things. So if you're home and you want to watch, it's 4 Pacific time and 7 o'clock Eastern time. Please watch, because I'll give you some good tips on how I met my husband and how you can attract a good companion. I've loved doing the show. Always be kind. God bless everyone.
God bless, Michele. See you next week. Bye-bye.
If you enjoy the Michele Livingston Show and want to see her in person, check out her next live seminar.
So here we go. If you can work with me, close your eyes. We're going to take 8 deep breaths, and we're going to start.
Have you recently lost a loved one?
Who lost a husband recently? I had to take a deep breath with him. I feel it was fairly quick.
Could you be the next one to get a reading?
I think I'm with you, sweetie. There's a name like Bree. They're showing me cheese. That's the new one. They showed me Bree cheese and her daughter's name Bree. See how this works?
This seminar will provide an experience that will truly enhance your understanding of the other dimensions.
When we get over there, we train to help 1 or 2 people that are on the earth plane, and we train to be their guides or their helpers.
And confirm that you
There's a dad figure coming through here.
are never alone.
Did you enjoy it?